Well, this is Killing Slomo. Lots happened. I got a lot to report. Hillary, as you know, was back on the old highway and in the Iron Lung, determined to get out to San Diego to kill Slomo. Well, what's happened is the following. They were rumbling down the freeway pretty fast, and Hillary began to have a panic attack inside the Iron Lung. We don't know exactly what set it off. It could have been the mosquitoes of that area, something like that got in there and bit her, but suddenly she was jumping around and slamming the sides of the thing and trying to rock the Iron Lung over, rocking it sideways as if she wanted to crash. But the pickup truck kept going for about 3 miles before they realized she was trying to get their attention by rocking this thing back and forth, and she had knocked one of the dollies sideways, so it was dragging down the freeway. I mean, the other one was still kind of in place, but she was rocking this thing, cursing, cussing. She couldn't think of but about 5 of the worst words, but I can tell you one of them started with a C, and the other one, she said the one started with an F. She didn't say the one that Trump's word starts with a P. So she left that one out, probably thinking that in her world she shouldn't say that, But anyway, finally the truck came to a stop, and Hillary, it was obvious that she was having some sort of, I don't know, I can't say it was a convulsion, and it really wasn't a catatonic fit. It was not a trance. It was not a hysterical rocking maneuver, nor an akinetic mobility disorder. It was none of the things that I'd read about as a neurologist. She was thrashing around in there. That was in a most peculiar fashion, and one of her eyes was turned in such a way to make you think she had a 6th nerve palsy on the right side, which usually means subarachnoid blood at some time in the past. Indeed, she had hydrocephalus, normal pressure hydrocephalus. The diagnosis could be made easily. She was demented, and they were giving her Decadron or some other pill to get her through the debates. All of that was quite obvious to me now, so the neurologic problem had been masked for these stupid people watching her on TV, particularly that white-haired Scoop, who in CNN, which should be off the air as a criminal network, but it will stay until they see if Hillary is going to win. But no, not until she's going to win, but they want her to come back and take charge and make sure that they stay on top. Let's put it that way. Okay, but anyway, so here is Hillary having some sort of seizure, convulsion, some myoclonic, tonic, out of control involuntary movement, with one eye looking at the side and one eye looking straight. And the driver, Scoop, jumped in there and said, "I'm going to try to resuscitate this lady because she's our great leader." But he had miscalculated. She was not really, and had not had a cardiac arrest. She was actually convulsing with a very peculiar type of seizure disorder, which occurs in borderline personality disorders who have been fiddling with their consciousness in unnatural ways, either sexually or by witchcraft. Interesting. Another diagnosis on top of the one we just made. Well, so she was having a very unique type of myoclonic disorder, which everyone witnessed, but was quite peculiar to her own singular person, because she had wrecked herself by a combination of extraordinarily evil deed, which she hoped to deny to her last days. The bad deed we haven't mentioned, or we have mentioned, but we'll not go into the details thereof, but it's the essential piece to understand why a person acts this way over a long haul. But also some brain damage, which we can all get. No big deal there. But hers is especially progressive, isn't it now? You don't have to be a scientist. You know, they keep saying she's got Parkinson's. She doesn't have Parkinson's. This is ridiculous. Parkinsonian symptoms, though, can be caused by hydrocephalus. You guys should know that. But Dr. Badak probably has good neurological consultation. So as she flies in her helicopter to do something about it, she's trying to review her neurological diagnoses. You see, she could remember things like the ST wave on an EKG, but she couldn't remember some of the other things, like whether a myopathy and a neuropathy were actually different from each other, whether they were fundamentally the same. So here she was, faced with being helicoptered in to help treat this unusual type of seizure disorder. She was on the chapter of seizures, and it began something like this. Epilepsy has been a part of human life for many years, and so on. She was reading absolutely every part of it, trying to be a good physician before she got there. But the helicopter was about to land, and it did land right on the freeway, blocking all the traffic back for about 3 hours in total. Anyway, Dr. Dadak, I can't remember, but it's one of those names. It has 2 syllables. has 2 syllables, and it's an "ak" on the end. That's about all I can remember. But I'm sure she was doing her best, and she's doing her best right now. She climbs into the back of the fecalized, you might call it, what do we call it? The iron lung. Yeah, a very expensive piece of hardware, donated for Hillary, especially from the globalists. One of them had already kicked off, and they left it for Hillary. But anyway, that's another story. Another story. They're probably casing me out so they can, when the assassins do get here, and Hillary does get here, they'll be able to, they'll know exactly, that's him over there. He's the one. I've cased him out for you. But anyway, so Hillary is having this convulsive stuff inside the iron lung beside the freeway, which is absolutely absurd. Podesta is sitting on the hood of the truck, looking up at the sky, hoping to see a flying saucer. He's never seen one, but he is convinced he will see one eventually. Anyway, Scooper he jumped in there and trying to help, like he's an assistant, sort of a natural nursing type of guy. He's trying to like help with the IV as Bedak tries to find a vein on one of her Hillary's puffy little fat forearms, which show no visible veins. Well, the doctor keeps jabbing since Hillary is jerking all over the place anyway. It's almost impossible to get a IV going. So Dr. Dadak, or whatever her name was, or is, if she's still practicing medicine. Yeah, she actually decided to give an IM, that is intramuscular injection of the dilantin, which she knew would cause a big sulfate ice ball in the middle of the muscle, but at least she could say that she gave it. And in the meantime, she would hunt for a vein. And then she remembered that Hillary always used diazepam, that those injections, the big black man that injected her, he should be here now. Where was he when Bedak needed him? But Bedak remembered that he used diazepam. She had seen that on the internet when she was trying to find out if the internet was really on to him or not, or whether that was really her records that said Hillary had dementia. Anybody with a real brain would be able to see that Hillary was functioning in what we call subcortically. These people can shine you on, but if you're intelligent, they can't shine you on more in about 30 seconds. But you could tell somebody like Scooper and those other people, they're so stupid. I mean, they can't tell anything. Trump can see everything in a flash, but somebody like O'Reilly, he has to study it, think about it, read about it, get opinions. That's how slow his mind works, and that's true of people like Megyn Kelly. All she's doing is a mirror. There's nobody behind there. It's a mirror. It's a fake way of going through this kind of thing. They teach you this in Stanislavski. They call it the method. But anyway, let's go back to the subject matter. So here's BDAC. Finally, she ties Hillary's arms to her legs like she was tying up a pig, but with her arms tied together and her legs tied together in front of her, and then the legs and the arms all tied together with a lot of duct tape. And as she was duct taping the legs and arms in one big mass, Hillary kind of woke up and said, "What the hell are you doing?" And Dr. Bibak said that she was trying to stop her seizures, that this was the best thing to do, is stop the movement, because it was a type of reflex that where if she had one seizure, it would reflex back into the nervous system and cause an oscillation. So this particular way of looking at things, it just occurred to BDAC when she was getting out of the helicopter, because she really hadn't read any more than the introduction of how to treat a true seizure disorder. So she was in there and she said, "I'm just trying to stop your seizures." And Hillary said, "Look, we've got to get out of here. Take this duct tape off my legs and arms, or I'm going to have you shot in the back like this last character that we did, you know, that nobody seems to care about now." And so BDAC looked at Scooper, and Scooper said, "You know, do what she says. She's the boss, and she is the great person of the world. Don't forget, because I'm a globist." I'm one of the Illuminati. I'm one of the few. Thank you, doggy. I'm one of the really exceptionally, you know, like in an aristocratic world, you'd probably recognize me. That'd be where I naturally would be. And we like to be Democrats because we loathe those red-blooded types that play football and that type of thing. It's just, we went through that phase a few hundred years ago.